Making headlines this hour, Maldives Post Limited celebrates its 119th anniversary, a significant milestone that drew commendation from President Dr. Mohamed Moiso. President Dr. Mohamed Moiso announces the cancellation of the controversial Domfano Baitol land reclamation dredging project, heeding the direct requests of the local community. And the Maldives Bureau of Statistics officially launches its latest labor force survey, a key initiative aimed at providing a detailed snapshot of the nation's employment landscape. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSN News in English with me, Ilham Naeem. Maldives Post Limited celebrates its 119th anniversary, a significant milestone that drew commendation from President Dr. Mohamed Moiso. In a social media post, President Dr. Moiso lauded the postal services for its invaluable contributions to Maldives' development, advancements in communication, and overall economic progress. He expressed the country's deep pride in the dedicated leaders and employees who have guided the institution for over a century, extending his heartfelt thanks and best wishes for their enduring service. The genesis of the Maldivian postal system dates back to 9th September 1906, when the first post office was established. This pioneering move stemmed from then government's crucial realization of the importance of an efficient communication system for connecting the islands. Initially, the post office utilized Ceylon 25-cent stamps featuring the Maldives before transitioning into a Maldivian stamp in 1963. A pivotal moment in its expansion occurred in 1994 with the establishment of agency post offices in all islands, dramatically accelerating the delivery of postal services to the furthest reaches of the archipelago. This sustained growth and the increasing demand for its services ultimately led the government to restructure the postal service into a 100% government-owned company, officially naming it a Maldives Post Limited. Through its long and essential history, Maldives Post Limited has consistently served as a vital lifeline, fostering connectivity and supporting the socio-economic fabric of the Maldives. President Dr. Mohamed Moiso announces the cancellation of the controversial Domfano Baitol land reclamation dredging project, heeding the direct requests of the local community. The decision comes amidst significant public concern over the project's potential environmental impact on the adjacent Hanifaru Bay, a vital biosphere reserve, a major tourist attraction for the Maldives. Originally signed during the president's visit to Baitol last August, the plan involved dredging 13 hectares of land from the Domfano Lagoon. However, environmentalists and residents widely feared that the proposed activity would irreparably damage Hanifaru Bay, a critical ecological site. In a post shared on social media, President Dr. Mohamed Moiso affirmed his administration's commitment to a governance model that prioritizes public will, stating he would not proceed with any island-level initiative that lacked the community's consent. While he reiterated a promise to implement a land reclamation project in Domfano at the request of its people, he clarified that a specific dredging project would not continue following the change in public opinion. President Dr. Moiso affirmed that his administration will not pursue any initiative that does not align with the aspirations and needs of the citizens. He further confirmed that the relevant authorities would formally notify the Domfano Island Council of the decision. Adding to the clarification, Minister of Construction, Housing and Infrastructure, Dr. Abdullah Muttalib, confirmed via social media that while the dredging project would not proceed, the government remains committed to addressing the island's harbour issues and protecting its shore protection needs. This reversal marks a significant victory for community advocacy and environmental protection, signaling a government responsive to its citizens' concerns, especially regarding sensitive ecological zones. The Minister of Cities, Local Government and Public Works, Adam Sharif Umar, vehemently dismisses as irresponsible claims, alleging that the government intends to abolish the country's atolls. Speaking on PSM News, Rajamyadu program, Minister Adam Sharif directly addressed widespread allegations, particularly on social media, that President Dr. Mohammad Moises' administration is moving to dissolve these administrative divisions, unequivocally stating that such claims are unfounded and do not reflect the government's policy. Instead, the minister clarified the administration's intent to reform the existing atoll council system. He argued that creation of provinces under the previous MDP government inadvertently led to an increased dependence on the capital Male for various administrative matters. He described the current atoll councils as largely providing only administrative assistance to the islands, functioning as an added layer within the decentralization framework with limited actual mandate. The government, he explained, seeks to reconfigure the atoll council's structure to enhance its effectiveness and responsibility. This includes integrating councillors elected by each island into atoll council for local development, thereby increasing their oversight and accountability. Echoing President Dr. Moises' previous statement over the current flaws in the structure of atoll councils, Minister Adam Sharif affirmed that composition of the atoll councils would indeed change from its present form, though he stressed that the natural formation and order of the Maldivian atolls themselves would remain. The minister also shared his personal belief that academically competent individuals akin to permanent secretaries in ministries should be appointed from within the civil service to handle the administration work of these reformed provincial structures, with their performance dictating their tenure. Minister Adam Sharif's comment aimed to quash the irresponsible rumors and provide clarity on the government's actual strategy, not an abolition of administrative areas, but a strategic restructuring to foster more effective and accountable decentralized governance. The Ministry of Construction, Housing and Infrastructure receives information from 43 islands confirming interest in building houses on private land as part of the government's ambitious provincial housing project. The initiative, which aims to assist residents facing financial difficulties, is part of a larger plan to implement housing projects in 57 designated islands across the atolls. The announcement comes after the ministry, in the first week of July, requested island councils to compile a list of residents who wish to construct housing units on their own plots. Speaking to PSM News, the ministry confirmed that of the 57 islands where the opportunity was opened, information has been received from 43, while 14 islands have yet to respond. For the islands that have submitted details, the ministry confirmed that the projects are now in the pre-qualification evaluation stage. This phase will involve crucial preparatory work, including arranging contractors and securing the necessary financial arrangements. The government's push for housing solutions is a top priority, with a significant budget allocated for this year's construction works. The ministry noted that contractors have shown considerable interest in these projects. The government is working to expedite the implementation of these housing initiatives in the atolls, with the project set to be awarded on a design and build basis. Projects have been categorized into 4 types for bidding, opening opportunities for both local and international firms. Projects with less than 50 housing units will be developed by Maldivian contractors. The 3 larger categories, 51 to 150 units, 200 to 250 units, and more than 300 units, are open to both Maldivian and foreign contractors. With over $64 million allocated for housing infrastructure this year, the government has signaled its firm commitment to addressing the nation's housing challenges and expanding home ownership opportunities nationwide. The Maldives Bureau of Statistics (MBS) officially launches its latest Labour Force Survey (LFS), a key initiative aimed at providing a detailed snapshot of the nation's employment landscape. The launch ceremony was attended by Johnny Simpson, the country director of the International Labour Organization (ILO) for Sri Lanka and the Maldives, who emphasized the human dimension behind the data. Conducted in the final quarter of last year and first quarter of this year, the survey is a core function of the MBS, which is responsible for collecting labor and employment market statistics under the Statistics Act of the Maldives. Speaking at the launch, Johnny Simpson underscored that the LFS goes beyond mere statistics. The data collected will help identifying the working and unemployed populations, providing a foundation for future policy-level decisions. The extensive survey covers a wide range of topics to build a holistic understanding of the labor market. These areas include general demographic information of people, details on the employed and income-earning population, data on those actively seeking and not yet receiving income-generating work, information on education and migration, time spent on household chores, and details of the volunteer population. According to the MBS, the survey's primary objectives are to identify the economically active population, determine the proportion of people in the employment, and assess the rate of new job creation. The data will also be used to obtain migration rates, update population projections, and track the nation's progress toward achieving its sustainable development goals. The findings from this comprehensive survey are expected to play a critical role in shaping future labor policies and economic strategies for the country. A new labor force survey report from the Maldives Bureau of Statistics (MBS) reveals that 74.8% of the working population in the capital city of Male is employed. The report, covered in the first quarter of this year, provides a snapshot of the city's labor market, highlighting a notable gender gap in employment. According to the survey, the working age population aged 15 and over in Male is 187,390, comprising 127,696 locals and 59,694 foreigners. Out of this group, 140,255 individuals, or 74.8%, are employed. The report also sheds light on those who are unemployed. The survey found that 2,176 people are actively looking for work, with the vast majority, 2,064, being Maldivians. A gender breakdown shows that women make up the largest portion of this group, with 1,101 women seeking jobs. The total number of unemployed individuals stands at 44,959, representing 24% of the working population. Of this group, 7,622 are classified as employable by the survey. The survey highlights a significant disparity in employment rates between men and women, with the employment rate for working-age men is 77.5%, while the employment rate for working-age women is considerably lower at 51.6%. The labor force survey was conducted to gather essential data for policy making and economic planning. Its objective include identifying the economically active population, determining the proportion of employed individuals and the rate of new job creations, providing data on employed and unemployed populations, along with collecting data to inform migration rates and update population projections. The state-owned Maldives Industrial Fisheries Company, MIFCO, participates in the 25th China International Fair for Investment and Trade, CIFIT. The company is using the event, which runs from 8th to 11th September in Xiamen City, China, to introduce and promote Maldivian seafood to a global audience with the goal of expanding international market reach. At a special stall organized by the Chinese Ministry of Commerce, MIFCO is showcasing a variety of its products and offering visitors a chance to experience them firsthand. MIFCO's General Manager for Local Sales and Marketing, Aishat Riaza, said the main purpose of participating in the fair is to expand Divehi seafood products to international markets, adding that the fair is also an opportunity to introduce MIFCO's business to China and open new avenues for Maldivian seafood. Participation in major events like CIFIT is a key part of MIFCO's strategy to broaden its market and connect with new customers. Just last month, the company showcased its products at the Food and Hospitality Asia Maldives FHAM fair in Hulu Male, where its stall received significant positive attention. According to Riaza, these fairs are important for MIFCO's ongoing efforts to reach more people and expand its product offerings. The CIFIT event is a significant platform for international investment and trade, attracting government officials, businesses, and investors from around the world. MIFCO's presence highlights the company's ambition to tap into new markets, leveraging opportunities for international cooperation and growth. India's Foreign Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar calls for fair and transparent economic practices that benefit everyone in a virtual summit of the BRICS group of countries. In comments published by India's Foreign Ministry, Jaishankar called for constructive and cooperative approaches to trade, adding that putting up barriers was not helpful. The original BRICS group gathered leaders from Brazil, Russia, India, and China at its first summit in 2009. The bloc later added South Africa and in 2024 included Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, and United Arab Emirates as members.
The world, as a collective, is seeking a stable and predictable environment for trade and investment. At the same time, it is imperative that economic practices are fair, transparent, and to everyone's benefit.
BRICS nations now represent more than half the world's population and 40% of its economic output. After US President Donald Trump imposed additional 25% tariff on Indian goods for buying Russian oil last month, doubling total duties to 50%, New Delhi is accelerating efforts to deepen trade ties with other partners. Anti-corruption demonstrators in Nepal has led to the resignation of Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli a day after 19 people died in violent protests triggered by a social media ban. Oli's government, prior to his resignation, lifted the social media ban after protests turned violent, killing 19 and injuring more than 100 after police fired tear gas and rubber bullets at protesters trying to storm parliament. But anger against the government showed no signs of abating as protesters gathered in front of parliament and other places in the capital Kathmandu in defiance of an indefinite curfew imposed by authorities. Under the curfew, schools and shops are shut and gatherings are banned indefinitely in Kathmandu. Organizers of the protests, which spread to other cities in the Himalayan country, driven by young people's widespread frustrations with the government's perceived lack of action to tackle corruption and boost economic opportunities. Under the constant pressure from public, Prime Minister Oli resigned. Oli, 73, was sworn into his fourth term in July last year as the country's 14th Prime Minister since monarchy was abolished in 2008. Two of Oli's cabinet colleagues also resigned prior, saying they did not want to continue on moral grounds. That concludes news for now. Thank you for watching PSM News. Have a good day.